So this is the best lighting I can do in my kitchen, so I sincerely apologize. Let's just hope that by next year I have lighting. So in this video, I was going to do it separately into 3 videos, but since I'm doing Vlogmas, I don't want to clutter your feeds with tons and tons of videos, so I'm just going to talk about these things in one video. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is bags. Then I'm going to talk about stockings, and then I will talk about wrapping. So I'm going to start with bags first because I feel like bags are the easiest thing. So first off, this is a bag I got at CVS for $2.99, and I thought it was really pretty. It has glittery up here, it has a ribbon here, and of course the handles right here. They all come with that little plastic thing that is basically just for them to hang up when they do, you know, like when they're selling them. And you can just pull that off. I was actually afraid to pull it off. I thought it would ruin the inside, but it hasn't ruined it, thankfully. So basically, I'm not a big fan of the bag, and that's only because I think it's more exciting to open up unwrapped gifts. But bags are really good if you want to wrap something like a goblet, or this is actually one of Sheldon's Christmas gifts, he hasn't seen it yet, something like a little bowl like this, or like a candy dish, anything that has a abnormal shape to it. Also for mugs and things, bags are really good for that. I'm using this bag for my stepmother, and that's because I'm only showing a couple of the items because I'm just trying to make this video go as quickly as possible. I'm using this bag almost as a stocking. I'm putting things like this in it for my stepmom. I actually got this at Sephora. Aren't they pretty? I kind of want to get it for myself. And they're kind of bobbing around in there because I ordered it. And then this is just an antibacterial that I got from Victoria's Secret, just in case anybody was wondering. But you can use bags for stocking stuffers stuff. And that's for people that, you know, like stockings are really things that, I mean, you can use bags over and over again, but you're not going to probably get as much use out of a bag as you would a stocking. A stocking is just something that you want to use year after year, and sometimes you'll get new ones, but unless you're going to get the stocking back from that person the following year to use it over again, I would just put these types of things in a bag. That's what my grandmother did for us, because she gave us little things that were like stocking stuffers, and she always put them in bags. So I'm gonna move this other stuff that I have up here, and I'm gonna show you guys. Now first, you want to pick out like the best color of tissue paper. Since this is green and gold, and there's more green than there is gold, I looked for gold tissue paper and I couldn't find any. But if you get a bag like this, what you want to do is you want to go with, it's the same thing as dressing yourself up. When you do accessories, usually you will match your accessories to your outfit by the least amount of one particular color that is on your outfit. So for instance, there's more green on here than gold, so going with gold paper would be really cool. You could go with green, since here it has a gold strip. Green would be nice if you can find a very similar green to the green that's on here. If not, it just might look like too much contrasting green. And I thought about using red, but we ran out of red. Red would be okay for this. And then you can also do like two tones. For instance, I got my mom a red bag that they had for only $1 at Target, and I used white tissue paper, and it went well, but I could have used white and green because there was both a little bit of white and a little bit of green. So the first thing you want to do is you want to open your bag completely. Take off any price tags if you can. The thing I don't like about these is you kind of can't. You can scratch it out or put marker over it or something if you don't want somebody to know. No, the reason why you want to make sure that your bag is fully open is so you don't rip your bag, which I feel like I actually might be doing. But you don't want to rip your bag while you're putting items in it or tissue paper in it. So you want to make sure to get it as open as possible. And then we'll set this over to the side, and then I'm going to turn my camera down so you can see what I'm doing down here. And please excuse my nail polish. It's all over my cuticles because I didn't finish it, so, or at least I didn't finish taking some of it off. Okay, this isn't going to turn all the way down, so I will just try to show you the best that I can. It's a little more rectangular shape than it is square, but you still want to turn it, you want to use at least 2 pieces, and you want to turn it into something that's going to look almost like the Star of David. So if we get 2 pieces from this, oh, it's got some glitter on it. I have glitter all over my hands. Okay, so you want to take 2 pieces and put the rest aside. You might need more if you can't completely cover up what's ever in the bag. So you're going to take 1 piece and you're going to put 1 piece completely flat down in front of you, just like a square or a rectangle. You will put that completely down in front of you, and I have a piece that's right down in front of me like that. Then the next piece, you're going to want to turn that into almost like a triangle, like a diamond. So you're going to have like more points, because the points like this, the corners, are what pop up from the bag. So you're going to put this over that square in a diamond shape, so that when you pick it up, the top part has like 3 points and it looks almost, like I said, like a Star of David. Now you're going to want to lay this down flat. Let me see if I can move the camera down just so you can see this part. You're going to want to take from the very middle and just scrunch it up like this. Now what you're going to want to do is flip it over and pull all of this down over your arm. Then you want to grab your bag like this, and you're going to want to tip it back over and pull it down into the bag. And you can pull up the corners like while your hand is still in there. I actually prefer to do it that way so I'm not pulling up too much. And just whatever corners you see, pull them up so that it looks something like this at the top. And then you can start adding in some of your items. So I'm going to add this in, and I'm going to add this in. And then from there you can, since it sometimes will pull the paper down, you can pull it back up. So another thing you might want to do with a bag is, if you notice you can still see some of the items, you can take another piece of tissue paper and just pull that over it. If some of you have ever gone to the jewelry store Pandora, you'll notice that in Pandora they just put stuff in and then stick the tissue paper on the sides. You can do something like that if you like. I prefer it like this because I feel like the items are more hugged by the tissue paper. So another thing about bows and labels, these types of bags, you want the person you give it to be able to use it, you know, on somebody else the next year or something. So that way you do get your money's worth. So these types of labels here, they're sticky labels, and if you put them on the bag itself, sometimes it will tear off a piece of the bag and then you won't really be able to use it. Also, the same thing with bows. I mean, you can use a bow that sticks to the bag. I wouldn't, just because I'm not sure if that person, I probably wouldn't put a bow on it, just because I wouldn't be sure if that person wants to use the same color bow or would want to keep the bow on there. So I just keep it like this. They do have tags that you can get that have like a string like this, so you can always loop it around the handle like that. I would get those types of strings. I don't really use labels, and sometimes I don't use bows because I don't go to like a huge family gathering. I give my mom her gifts and then give my father and my stepmom their gifts, and I always know what their gifts are, so I don't often use labels, but that's a bag. So they do serve their purpose. The next thing would be a stocking, and I'm not really going to like stuff a stocking because you're going to be like, well, yeah, I already know that. So I'm just going to say a few things about it. Stockings are actually my favorite part of Christmas, and there's two reasons for that. One is because I have an older sister. Whoa, what's going on? I have Sheldon walking around the kitchen. One is because I grew up with my older sister. It was me, her, and my mom. And she was always able to sleep through Christmas Eve. And I was like that really antsy kid that could never sleep. And my mom said that we had to wake her up in order to open our gifts. But we could always get our stockings. So the stocking was always the first thing that I got and I saw on Christmas morning. And stockings are great because you can always put in them those little things that sometimes you'll see and think of someone that someone might not really know about. Or you can put all kinds of things. Like if you go to the Christmas tree shop, they have like a whole wall of like travel size things like shampoos and conditioners and baby oil and powder and toothpaste and just all those like cool little things that people can use throughout the year. My mom and I ended up like piling up so many of them that we don't really do that anymore. Last year I filled her stocking with a bunch of Lush items. So you can always do like smaller things. You can put gift cards in here. Now if you have tiny items, I wouldn't put them at the very bottom. I would put them somewhere in the middle, because sometimes people don't always like stick their hand deep down in there and check for anything tiny. Sometimes a stocking will look empty when it's not. Also gift cards you might want to put somewhere in the middle or the top. I usually put those at the top. So yeah, that's pretty much what there is to say about stocking. Watch me wrap a gift. There are some techniques that you can do to make a gift look neater. This is one gift that I already have wrapped and I actually put a bow on it. It looks a little crushed because Sheldon walked on it. But yeah, this is how it looks. And you don't have to worry about wrapping being perfect, but as long as it's like neat and nice, people usually say, oh wow, that person has really nice wrapping, and that's always a nice compliment on Christmas. So another thing you can do, and I have to say this really quickly, is you can save a lot of money if you don't buy bows, you don't buy ribbons, and you don't buy these little tags. But you can always make them on your own, or do other little things to kind of make packages look real pretty. And you can find these things for like really cheap. Like it's not even Christmas yet, and I got these things like really cheap at Michael's and AC Moore. So I am back. And I'm going to show you how to wrap a CD. And the reason why I chose a CD is because CDs are a fairly common gift. And it's also a fairly common size of things like 3DS games, DSi games, and whatnot are all very similar in size to this. You're going to need scissors, tape, and of course wrapping paper. I don't even remember where I got the scissors and the tape, but I got this wrapping paper at Rite Aid, and I got that a couple of days ago for about like $1.30 or something, and I think it said it was 40 yards, so it's quite a bit of wrapping paper on here. When I was younger, wrapping paper came in like sheets, and for this, sheets would actually be better, but we're going with a roll because I couldn't find sheets. So we're going to want to, one thing you can do, and this is something I've done before, is take off a small piece of tape like this and either stick it to the back of your hand or the handle on your scissors or down here, since I'm doing it over here. Put everything aside. So you want to test it out a little bit. So let's see, a CD is pretty easy to wrap. So now if you're not an even cutter, you might want to cut a little bit of more wrapping paper. Let me move this back a little bit. You might want to cut a little extra wrapping paper so that way you can fold it and kind of conceal the uneven cuts. I'll show you that in a second. So I think this is pretty much a good size. I'm just going to cut along here. If you don't want to waste any wrapping paper, you can cut it at like angles and stuff. So yeah, start this. Let's do a little more because I'm not really that even of a cutter myself. I can let that away. Hi, Sheldon. I'm in my kitchen and I have Sheldon walking around and he's coming over to say hi. Now, the more you wrap, the better you're going to get at it, because I notice like parents tend to be the best at wrapping. So we can take our wrapping paper and just put this aside for now. All right, so now to start it off, this is something that always bothered me as a kid, but now that I'm an adult, I understand. If you put this face up, for instance, we're gonna fold this like this and we'll cover it. When people open their gifts, they tend to open it where you taped it. They don't just like open it from like the random side that has like no little opening. So you don't want them to see what it is right away, especially when you're wrapping for little kids, because a lot of the time a little kid will see what it is and then put it aside before taking all of the paper off. And then you have to go over and like have the kids like actually remove all the paper and stuff. Plus, it keeps up a lot of the built up excitement if all they see is this and they're like, what are these? Are these song titles? You know, but over here it's like, oh look, red, Taylor Swift. So, yeah. We're gonna start it by doing this. Now, I cut this pretty even, but if you didn't cut it even, I'm gonna show you like a trick. You can fold the sides. This also works if you cut off, if you cut just a little too much wrapping paper, or you kept a little too much wrapping paper there and it's like too big or something, the piece, and it's just not enough to like cut away and, you know, really recycle. So we will put this, you can put this in the middle or not if you want. It really just depends on your style. And then you want to tape it down. Now, this is also something that really depends on what you got. I mean, if you got like a paperback book, I probably wouldn't tape it down. So I'm going to turn it around, and this is a pretty big piece here. So we can cut some of this off and either recycle it or save it for a much smaller gift. If you have like a teeny tiny jewelry box or something, these small pieces, I always keep the scraps. These small pieces are pretty good if, like I said, you have like a little tiny jewelry box or just something really small that you want to wrap. And then I'm going to fold this because I did not cut evenly. We'll get our tape, pull this in, and that goes pretty far down. Don't worry about the sides being uneven, like you can see that. Now, if you're like my sister, you can tape the whole entire side so nobody can open it anyways. That's what my sister always does. It's pretty funny. Or she did a lot. Now, if you see an uneven thing like this, what you can do if you want, you can just cut it here. I usually end up keeping them and just folding it in, and then you can't even notice. But we'll go with this even side first. So I'm just patting this down. Stop rubbing it against the furniture. And then I'm going to take a piece of tape just to have on the side. Now you want to fold the corner in a little bit. And you just want to keep checking. Keep checking to see how it's fitting. Keep checking to see how flat this part of the paper is. And like I said, the more you do this, the easier it's going to come to you. And if you allow yourself time, it can be pretty relaxing to actually wrap gifts. So you want to pull that in, flatten that corner out, take this corner and do the same thing, pull it in. Now it might, as it folds, it might not give you a perfect corner here, and that's okay. And then fold that there. Let's flatten this out a little bit more. All right, now you have a choice here. You can either fold this corner down in there and then fold it up, or you can fold this entire thing in. That's usually what I do. So you just take your piece of tape and then you put it across there. If you're crazy, like I said, like my sister, you can tape all up here and whatever else. So again, you can cut this off if you want. I think I'll do it just for demonstration to make it a little more even. There. Okay, so again, I'm going to take a little piece of tape, stick that over there, flatten this part out, pull this in. Now, another thing you want to make sure is that you're pulling it this way, so you're holding it flat so that the paper's not all bunched up in here, because even though you taped this, it can still get bunched up. So just pull that in. Now, I'm no professional wrapper, but this is still just a way that you can get a nice, neat look for your loved ones this holiday season. And this is pretty good even if you whether you celebrate Christmas or not, because you can always use this for birthdays, anniversaries, Hanukkah, basically anytime you're giving gifts. So then you want to pull this up, and you want to pull up tightly. And then that's how it should look. That's the back that we just wrapped, and then that is the front. And if you're going to put like a label, I would put the label kitty cornered and then put a bow right up at the corner. So this is one that I already did. I didn't put the label on yet. You can put the bow on the corner of the label, and sometimes if you do that, it kind of hides the name a little bit too, and you have to kind of look under the bow a tiny bit just to see the full name. That also keeps the excitement and anticipation. So yeah, this is our gift. So pretty much no matter what size the gift is, that's going to be the way that you typically wrap a gift. I think it came out pretty nice. How much tape you want to put on it really just depends on you, whether you want to put a bow and a label on. I think it makes it look neater and a lot nicer if you put a bow and a label on. So let me show you. I'm going to I put the bow on first, and normally you would put the bow on last, but I'm going to put this label on. And if it's like a soft gift, obviously you're going to want to write on the label first. And in my family, what we usually do, where it says to and from, we cross out the from and we put love. So here is our bow, and since I'm doing this backwards, I'm going to like try to move the bow a little bit and just put it under there. And these are the sticky kind. And there, it hides like who it's to, which you don't really have to do. It kind of hides it just a little bit. And then you just write under there to, and then from, or cross out the from and put love, and then put your name. So yeah, and then I'm just gonna do that with these other gifts. Well, the bag I probably won't, but yeah. So I hope you find this helpful, and hopefully it helps you even, like I said, like on birthdays and other times of the year. So yeah, I hope you all have a very merry, wonderful Christmas, and I'll see you all soon. Bye! So I was just wrapping this gift and realized that wrapping this gift in front of you guys could probably be really helpful. So one thing I want to show you guys is if you have a bigger gift, you do it exactly the way we did it with the CD. You do like the two middle parts. You can fold them if you have to fold them. And then get your tape ready. And then when you get to the side, pull it in and get it flat against the wall of the gift. And then once you do that, you can flatten out these sides so that it looks something like the opening of like a house or something. You're welcome in. And then you're going to want to pull this in. Now once you get to this part, if you feel you have to, like if you feel that it's bunching up too much or something, you can always put tape over here. And then flatten that out. And then pull this side in as well. And you want to pull it tight. And then flatten that out, and see how there's like a fold right there? You can always fold this piece in so that you don't see that part. Another thing you can do is fold it in like this, which, yeah, we'll do that this time. Fold that in like this and pull it up real tight. Oops. What is going on down there? Actually, I'll do that. And then fold that in. And you want to pull that up real tight. And then just tape right across there. Once you get one side down, it's usually pretty easy because then you can stand it up like that. I'm going to cut a piece of this off though because I did it a little too wide. There's the tape again. Again, you want to pull that down as far as it can go. Smooth that. Smooth the sides. Pull the side in. This side all the way in. I'm going to put tape there to make it better. Even if you bunch up the tape, just so you know, nobody's going to see that part. And then I'm going to fold it in like I did the other side. And then put it up here so that I can pull it down really tightly up there. And then just tape across. And then there's your package, and again, a label and bow. And yeah, so it's pretty much along the same ideas, except you have different sides on a bigger gift. And that's it. That's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a very, very, very merry, happy Christmas. However way you say it, happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.